Are we live now?
Yes.
Okay.
Dah live.
Okay. I think we wait for a while for people to come in. Kan?
Just say, there are 23 people online now.
Is it?
Yeah, just say hi to them, ask them to comment, then we see how many people are there.
Oh. Okay, I tak nampak. Actually, well, obviously I can't see. But anyway, hello everybody. So please put down your questions or anything that you want to ask. If we can answer, we will try. And after my conversation dengan Sarajun, and then we will answer whatever questions that we can actually answer lah. So I hope everyone had dinner. Dah makan, Jun?
Belum.
Belum makan?
Makan nanti tak boleh bercakap pula, mengantuk.
I pun belum makan juga because perut kenyang nanti tak boleh, otak tak jalan lah pula nanti. Yeah, so I will have very late dinner then, or maybe not. Tengoklah macam mana. I have somewhere to go after this. Okay, I think we shall start, or another 2 minutes maybe. So this is just like nak cerita-cerita lah what is going on in Malaysia, you know, the problems that we see, and can we actually find a solution with all these problems that we are experiencing in our country. So I hope, you know, the audience, you know, will not give up hope, because we still have hope in Malaysia. So, okay, I think I should just start lah. So maybe not many people know who is Sarajun, or many people know him, but this is to introduce you all. Tonight, I'm going to have a chat dengan Sarajun Hoda. So Sarajun is a social activist of 40 years and more. He is presently with Aliran and Gabungan Bertindak Malaysia, GBM. He's a member of Asia Europe Food Cluster, RA President in Klang, and a former Deputy Chair of Bersih 2.0. So he occasionally writes on current affairs and national issues. Okay, Sarajun.
Ya, Siti.
Macam mana kita punya country ni, negara kita ni? You know, the mood in the country is so restless and helplessness with respect to where we are now as a nation. So maybe we can start our borak lah by you telling us examples that make the rakyat felt angry and helpless. Do you want to start telling us, you know, what you see that makes the, you know, the rakyat actually felt angry and helpless?
Okay, Siti, thank you very much. And hi to all the people who have tuned into this conversation. Welcome. Now, I would put in, your question can be summed up into three areas. To me, the problems that we are having key areas, number one is education. Number two is economy. Number three is actually political maturity, which also means unity. These are the three main problems our country is facing. And I'm sure the Rakyat Malaysia will agree with me that this is the main problem we are facing. And this is the challenges that we have to face, we have to take up as we go along.
Yeah. So, I mean, you identify three areas, from what you see lah. I mean, to be honest, there's so many things going on that makes people so angry about.
Yeah.
So maybe you can expand on on the economy part. As what I see, it was already in a bad situation prior to even 2018, and the hope that we have when PH government took over is that they can try and rescue the economy, kan? Instead, now it has gone from bad to worse and tail spinning with the pandemic. We have gone from in the 60s ahead of economies of China, South Korea, and Singapore. By the 90s, we are not just worse off, but are behind Thailand or even Vietnam. Why do you think we are in this situation, Sarajun?
Let me start by the three key areas that I mentioned. The first one is education. Okay, let me give you some figures. All right. STAR in September 2013 reported that 70% of all the English teachers are not competent. This is reported in the STAR. Yeah? Now, the second thing, recent report is that 90% of preschool teachers have no certs. You see, that's how we start education in Malaysia. Okay, then recently, I think one tokoh pendiri negara, Tun Arshad Ayub, he mentioned that 2,500 professors actually are not competent. And these 2,500 unit professors is actually 70% of those in the higher university. I didn't say that. This is Tun Arshad Ayub's words. And he's also a vice chancellor somewhere, and he has been in education for donkey years. Okay, now let's go to a little bit deeper. OECD is an organization where they monitor schooling all over the world. They monitor the teaching of science, teaching of maths, and reading. Of the top 40 countries in the world, Malaysia is nowhere there. Brunei is there, Thailand is there, not Malaysia. Okay, and it's also reported that Malaysia is actually trying very hard even to reach the average score. So this is a situation of education in Malaysia.
That sounds very bad, man.
Yeah. And I tell you from my personal experience, I tell you I have been a chairman of few schools before, that's 10, 15 years ago. There was a case in Penang where it became a very big issue when Najib was the education minister. You know what we found out? I was also the ESCO member of PIBG Malaysia. You know what we found out? That 15 to 20% of students reaching Form 1 still cannot read and write.
Oh dear.
So I don't know what is the condition now, but I don't think it's too well, because 2 or 3 years ago, I met a teacher and asked them, they said, same, it's the same. And then there are too many politics in school. Do you know that most of the Ketua Bahagian and Ketua Cawangan and secretaries of political parties are all teachers? So they are very busy in politics, not in school. But if you ask the teachers say they have too much of paperwork to do. They have no time to teach.
Yeah.
And the Guru Besar is always not in the school. He is always attending. Menteri datang lah, YB datang lah, ini program lah. He is busy there. So what do you expect from this type of, this type of situation in the kindergarten, then the primary school, and then the secondary school? So this is a problem that we are actually facing. And
Yeah, before you proceed, why do you think this, happened in the school?
like I said, they are spending more time in not in teaching. Number one, let me start by talking about the teachers. It is an open secret. Cari kerja merata tempat tak dapat, last kali jadi cikgu. There was a case, I tell you, in Penang, in Juru, I can tell you, that because that was a school that actually sending students to Form 1 in the school where I was a chairman, cannot read and write, so I went to check. I found out that out of 40 teachers, 35 was Guru Sandaran. And this Guru Sandaran,
Sandaran ni apa?
temporary teachers.
Huh? Temporary. Oh.
Yeah, 2 bulan, 3 bulan, 6 bulan. And the UPSR was, the passing mark is only 17%. I was so sad. 17%. So I was very sad. I raised the issue. It came out into TV3, it came out into Utusan, and Najib was very angry with me because I raised that issue. And I had a long debate with Najib on television in TV3 Malaysia, Malaysia Pagi or something. And we will talk about this. It prolonged very long. But the situation is still bad. You can ask the teachers. They spend more time preparing all the paperwork and all that than teaching. And teaching. Recently, there was a video in social media how a teacher was teaching, about what? About sex education or health education to children in English. It was horrible. So when our teachers themselves cannot speak good Malay or even especially English, because I consider English is a language of knowledge, is a language of science, So if you cannot speak, how do you expect our students to improve? So this is actually a big problem in the education, and of course we have to do.
Yeah, I mean, as you already said, there are many problems happening in schools. Do you think this is the problem? The problem lies with Ministry of Education, for not actually, looking at these things that are happening in schools, in sekolah kebangsaan. So, where really is the problem, you think? Can we kind of identify what is the cause of all these inefficiencies, the children unable to read and all that? What do you think? Is there something, where somewhere we can identify?
Well, of course, I think the Ministry of Education must engage the teachers and the Ibu Bapa more, so that we know actually what is actually happening in schools. And also, just make sure the quality of education, because it's actually an open secret. People of my age, I'm only already 60 plus, we still hear friends of mine who say, those people who passed standard 5 ke standard 6 tahun 60-an speak better and are more intelligent than those people coming out of the universities today.
Yeah.
So they actually know. But the problem is that when you have a new minister, for example, the previous minister during Pakatan Harapan, he was more interested in the color of the shoes than the quality of the education. So this is a problem. I think the Education Ministry must engage a little bit more on learned people. We have plenty of intelligent and learned people within us, but I think they are not being engaged. And also, I think the select committees in Parliament, there should be a select committee on education, and let them, look into this education and try to find solution for all these things. We are still talking about language, talking about religion, and talking about all the unnecessary things, but we are not serious in science and technology and
when you talk about we, who are those we?
the schools, the education
Yeah, but the
ministry.
schools don't set syllabus. The schools, they may be given, incompetent teachers and all that. But, obviously it has to come from somewhere. I mean, to me, it comes down to the government, kan? I mean, at the end of the day, Ministry of Education, when we complain to them or when issues are raised, they will say it's not in their policy, like paksa murid-murid pakai tudung, like all these things that are going on in schools, they will say that it's not in the MOE policies. So siapa yang actually,
It has to be our members of parliament who are in the parliament. They have to look into it. They have to speak up. They have to form select committee on education. They have to look into all these
that's
problems.
it. A select committee to look
Select
into
committee,
the
yes.
problems of their
Yes.
schools, or why they must start looking at why are less and less people or parents sending children to sekolah kebangsaan and fighting to get into vernacular schools.
Most of the students come out of the universities, majority are actually out of job.
No,
Graduates.
their
Graduates.
quality is so bad. I have
It's
friends
very
who are
bad.
employers.
It's very bad.
They
Let me
cannot-
give you one more statement, which is almost like a joke. All right. It seems that 1 or 2 years ago, the government put a target that by 2030, we want to have at least 60,000 PhD holders in the country. Okay? Maybe they were thinking that is the way of overcoming the problem of education in Malaysia. But if you look at Tun Arshad Ayub, he says the professors are incompetent. But that is not the joke. I tell you the joke now. Last year, UPM produced 632 PhD holders in a year. So they are manufacturing like kacang putih.
Okay, so
what kind of PhD you think?
Sarajun, we know now that there are problems, really serious problems in our education system, and you already mentioned about that ultimately our minister and the parliamentarians must
definitely
take action, because you cannot leave it to this Ministry of Education to solve this problem, because they won't. It's not, they will follow ikut arahan, kan? Jadi arahan mesti datang daripada minister. Dan minister adalah daripada parlimen. Jadi it's all about political will. Tidak ada political will.
Betul.
So now that's the education side. I mean, we can talk 1 week or even 1 month about our problems in schools or in our higher education or in our Ministry of Education problem.
One more point.
We are looking at the time now. Can you talk about a bit about public administration and governance? What do you think about this topic? Do we have a problem in our public administration and governance?
That was my third point actually about public political maturity, which is I link it into unity. The problem is actually huge. We have a problem of rule of law. It's an open secret. We have problem of rule of law. We have problem of good governance. We have problem of justice, political justice. where race and religion plays a very important role in this country. Okay, racial discriminations. Then we have need of serious and huge institutional reforms. I'm so sad to mention that during Pakatan Harapan time, there was some learned people got together and they came up with some very good institutional reforms. But unfortunately, Tun Mahathir was never interested in the reforms. He never even looked at it. He never even implemented it at all. So that was a lost opportunity during the Pakatan Harapan time. Then we also
okay, I want to hold
also
you there. Wait.
stability.
Wait, I want to hold you there. Okay, if that's the case, if Tun was the obstacle, why aren't the other political parties like PKR, DAP, Amanah do something? Because Tun is
I
only
think
alone,
No, I think they spoke, but the
They
only thing is
spoke,
that
but then
they say,
there's no outcome.
Siti,
So what's the point of talk, but no outcome?
Tun Mahathir is an aged person. They talk to him nicely, hoping that he will buy their arguments and listen to them and all that. Unfortunately, they did try, but it didn't work out. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Yeah, but
Because
I mean, you can't be pleasing one person, because we want to respect the aged, we respect Tun for his the service to the country, but this is the first time where the opposition took over, so they want to do something. They ought to do something.
yeah, but they needed little bit more time. 2 years was actually very short for Pakatan Harapan.
Are you giving
I,
excuse now
no,
for Pakatan Harapan for
I'm
the?
not giving excuse, but I think Pakatan Harapan should have been given little bit more time. They were actually on track. I know that for myself because I was also a member of a commission and trying to reform a statutory body. So I know what we
But what
actually
happened
were
to the
doing.
to ICERT and Statute of Rome and all that? Just because Tun M feel that it is not good idea at that time.
Let's admit, Tun Mahathir is very pro-Malay and he's very racist. He has always been very, very racist.
Well,
You heard about Tommy Thomas. The next day after his appointment, Mahathir almost told him, please resign because the Malays don't want an Indian attorney general. So this is how the
but he
country.
appointed him.
Yeah, but it's him also the next day telling Tommy
No, I
Thomas,
don't
please
think that's
resign.
racist. I think he followed the pressure. He listened to so-called pressure from the noises made.
Well, you must admit that Malaysia majority is a Malay Muslim population.
Yeah, but is that the way a leader should behave? Listening to the noises on social media, but I mean, a leader should be doing something which is what they think is good for the country, for everybody, right? That is a good leader.
You are saying as if we are watching a football match, and Dafra is in front of the goal and we are complaining, why didn't he kick? Why didn't he pass here? No, you are not in that position, so you won't know exactly what are no, there must be some political reason for it.
Yeah,
He's
but
a politician. The government will run on political lines. So,
yeah. I want to ask you, what stops him from doing the right thing for Malaysia as a whole?
You see, my opinion.
It's political reason.
Yeah, all right. Yes, it is political. It is political.
Yeah, exactly.
It is political, definitely political.
At the end of the day,
Bersatu was the smallest party in Pakatan Harapan. Then he decided to invite UMNO people to come in to support him. Those UMNO Trojan horses that eventually destroyed Pakatan Harapan from within.
So basically, I just want, because we don't have much time, there are many questions coming in. I just want to say that ultimately, a leader is supposed to lead the country for everybody, right?
True,
I mean,
true,
that's how
true.
I see it. Okay,
Yeah,
now
yeah, it's
you will
true.
agree that the decisions made by the leaders that we have, including Tun M, is for their political survival. Yeah, they are so busy politicking amongst them that they don't care what is happening on the outside with the rakyat, basically. Yeah.
That is usually a problem of every government if you don't have very comfortable majority. You have a
Well,
slim majority, you are always, and
yeah,
then
but
you have these
you're
frogs.
giving excuses.
No, not giving excuses, but
Yeah,
this
but
is reality.
there are many other countries who do not have majority. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
we
true.
cannot blame
New Zealand is a very good example. New Zealand is a very good example. They
exactly.
allowed a minority government to rule the country, but that sort of political thing doesn't still hasn't worked. That's what I said. Malaysians still lack serious political maturity. We are not matured yet in political.
So how long
Even
after
today,
60 years of
it is going to take a
independence?
long time. It's going to take a long time because
No, no,
even
no, I
today,
don't
people
agree
can
with
sell
you.
their votes for 50 ringgit and 100 ringgit. This is Malaysia.
How long do you want, until when do you want to wait for Malaysians to be mature, as you say, If the education system is not changed and we still have, people coming out from school with their minds not able to think, we will never have maturity in our
Definitely.
country
It
because the people. So
is not just education, City. There are other factors into this also. For example, access of information. The media is actually controlled by the mainstream, by the government. The TV, the radio, the newspapers are controlled
right.
by them.
So
And if there is anyone who dare to speak, you see like Malaysia, Kini, see how they are punished. This is
exactly.
the problem. So when the people on the ground in the rural areas, the less educated, not internet savvy, these people don't get the real message actually what is happening. So
Well,
the government gets to tell their own
Sarajun,
story.
what you are saying, Pakatan Harapan, basically last time won because of the rural people? I don't think so. Yeah. Now, let me remind you that, you mentioned Malaysia Kini, kan? Why do we even get to this level? This Malaysia Kini being, to me, Malaysia Kini being persecuted. Yeah. Not prosecuted, being, not, but persecuted, for even comments not made by them, by the, comments made by other people and all that. But, everybody's asking the question, why is Malaysia Kini being punished with a fine which is more than double from what the prosecution actually asked for? Why do you think this happened? This is such an incredible sort of decision by our learned judges. Why do you think so? Why is this happening?
Well, it just didn't just happen. As you know, we have a lot of stories coming out from the judiciary. You will still remember the judicial crisis about 20 years ago. You know how the executive actually took control of the judiciary. And then what happened is that these we have these cases about, do you remember, there's a magistrate Firdaus in Kelantan. He was talking about how brokers were, moving around courts and doing business,
Being
of
corrupted, you mean? Yes.
corrupted. Yeah, corrupted. He was punished for corruption,
Use
but
the
now
word
he's speaking
corrupted.
out.
Yes, that is what
Okay.
it is.
Now,
Yeah.
there
I,
is also a case of Justice Hamid Sultan for
yep.
speaking out. He's being punished at the moment. So when you have stories like this coming up from the judiciary, people feel very uncomfortable. People have high regards for the justice, but the justice, the judgment coming out from our courts must actually make people respect the justice more. But
Yeah.
not in
How
this
are we going
case.
to get that?
Now, in this case, for example, it is very funny that the people who spoke that those languages, obnoxious languages, are not punished. I give you a simple. I used to give an example. Dia macam kita masak nasi, nah. Nasi sudah jadi bubur, tapi salahkan periuk. Mana boleh? This is not right.
Now,
People will continue to speak
let me ask
out.
you, so there is a problem between the executive and the judiciary being, sort of right now, they are connected.
Yes,
Actually,
I think so.
this is a problem.
Because you see, because the
There's
commission,
a problem there.
Siti, the commission to appoint judges is under the Prime Minister's office.
Right.
How do you connect
So
that
there is
yourself,
no
lah?
independence in
No,
the
I think true independence of centers of power is not there in Malaysia. You see
So
how
now,
how the
decide?
speaker,
Now who decide this separation of powers?
or the people must decide. The people must
The
force
people
the
are
members
not in
of
parliament, my friend. Who decide and who make laws, to separate these institutions?
No, this actually is a very old disease, because UMNO was too powerful. It ruled for 60 over
I'm
years.
asking you a question. Who make decision and decide for this separation of powers between the institutions?
Still the parliamentarians.
Exactly. I
They
want
are
to
the
bring
one
you
who's
back
supposed
to
to look into
the
it.
role of the parliament.
Yes,
the
correct.
role of the parliament. Everything goes back to the parliament.
Correct.
So I want the public to understand how it works, because at the end of the day, whatever we see, the injustices or whatever is happening in our country, is because everything starts from parliament.
Correct.
Right now, the executives have so much power, they can do anything they like without check and balance. But the parliament is where they will need to do all these things to repair all these problems. Do you agree
Yeah.
with me?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, the Prime Minister's office is so powerful, it controls almost everything in Malaysia. Okay, I give an example. The civil defense is under the Prime Minister's office. Okay, Islam, the religion of Islam, is under the Prime Minister's office.
Okay, that is,
Okay, the national audit, the Department of National Audit, does the audit of all the accounts of all the ministries in Malaysia, is under the Prime Minister's office. Now, the AG is under the Prime Minister's office. Do you know? The AG is under the Prime Minister's office.
of course.
Parliament is under the Prime Minister's office.
Well,
The
this is,
Chief Register of the Federal Court also sits in the Prime Minister's department.
so basically, what we need, the parliament to actually change all these
Definitely.
problems. Yeah. So what we need
Definitely.
are good people in parliament that will do the right thing. But right now, no. Well, I won't say nobody lah, because obviously some in parliament are good people. They do want change, but they couldn't, right?
Yes,
So
that's what I meant under Pakatan Harapan.
yeah, no, I mean yes, but still they had the majority, before. They could actually do some things, but they didn't. So I'm sorry to say, at the end of the day, Pakatan Harapan still have a boss that do not agree to make this country better because of wanting to for their political survival. They want to please a section of the society so that they think they can get the vote next time. This is what they think about. Yeah. Nobody dares in Pakatan Harapan to actually talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah. Even DAP or even PKR or even Amanah. Of course, Amanah will not talk about it because they are, on the side of this religion side. So they don't want to tackle the problem, which is the elephant in the room. Yeah, using religion and race as a political weapon. Nobody
Actually,
does. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Yeah, not that
actually,
I'm aware of.
Before I go into the race and religion, I actually like to make it very clear that I don't entirely agree with you that there are people in Pakatan Harapan that didn't try. Actually, they worked very hard. They tried their best. Like I said earlier, that they didn't have enough time to complete the task they were doing.
Well, I understand. I'm not
Okay.
saying Pakatan Harapan is bad and all that, but they
No, I'm telling this
I'm
because
sorry to
I know
say,
some of them personally. I
yeah,
know they
I know
tried
some
very
of them
hard.
as well. I'm
They
just
actually
saying
work for
that
it.
look at what happened during the budget. Now, I mean, we of course a lot of them against the budget, blah blah blah. But then when it comes to the crunch, who do they listen to? Their so-called leader who says
Un-
you don't vote, and nobody votes. Amanah
Yeah,
voted
that's
because the memo
unfortunate.
came late.
That's
So,
regarding the budget. That was actually very unfortunate. Very, very
well, don't say it's unfortunate. It shows to the public that, when you have warlords on top, yeah, then you have a problem because you have to toe the line. Okay? When your boss says don't vote, even though it is something important, then they don't vote. And then after that, they make noise. What's the point? You know?
I agree
So,
with you on that.
don't try to
Regarding the
defend.
passing of the budget, I entirely agree with you that they
This is
should
good.
have
No matter
rejected
how
the
good
budget.
people they are, they need to be independent in making their decision in parliament,
True,
And
true,
this is
true.
where I say that there is a problem with political parties because of the whip, because of towing the line. They must follow their bosses. Otherwise, they are afraid next election, their name is not going to be selected.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's politics, Siti.
Well, this is it. Oh, siapa
That's
mangsa?
politics.
Siapa mangsa?
Ah,
Kita rakyat jadi mangsa. Dia orang okey lah, gaji bulan-bulan masuk. Okay?
For
So,
big political
no,
parties,
yes, that's why this is why Gerak Independent came, yeah, because we have lost hope with our political parties. We voted for Pakatan Harapan. We wanted them to make change, and yet they are busy politicking amongst themselves, and then they follow their bosses, what the bosses says. So I'm sorry to say, this is not right. I'm not saying Pakatan Harapan is bad, all of them. No, they all want change, and we have engaged with many of them too. But what's the point if you want change, but you don't actually be brave and courageous to make it to materialize the dream that we have? No, I'm sorry that so these political parties, when you have bosses that you have to follow, who don't have who don't think about, when you have bad bosses who don't think about the rakyat but busy thinking about themselves, this is what happened.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Of course, compare all other governments to Pakatan Harapan, they are much better in terms of engaging with the CSO, the NGOs, taking opinions. But ultimately, what have they come out with? Nothing. So this is the problem. Political warlords. This is our problem. Yeah. And so I mean, this is what I think that why political parties in Malaysia, when you have political warlords, when you have to follow what they say, how to vote, who to vote, then we have a problem because nobody think about us as the rakyat. Yeah, and this is something that everybody must start thinking and looking at. We are not saying they are bad people. It's just that their method is not working. Yeah. Do you agree with me, Sarajun?
Yeah, I do. I do to a great
So
extent,
yeah,
yes. Because I think the reforms actually are very, very important. Like, for example, we spoke about the separation of powers.
Mm.
If the reform does not happen, nothing will change in Malaysia.
okay.
And among the reforms, I can tell you, among the reforms, is that the first thing first, anti-corruption should be actually under Parliament, not under the Prime Minister's office.
Of course.
Election Commission should be under the Parliament, not under the Prime Minister.
Exactly.
Suhakam should report to Parliament.
Correct.
And then you must have IPCMC. Why are they not forming the IPCMC?
Oh,
They should quickly form IPCMC. Otherwise, there are a lot of things that are happening in the police station. We are so sorry for that.
yeah,
There are good policemen also.
of
But
course.
because of the bad policemen, the good policemen, again, their image are being tarnished. You see the number of people dying in custody. You see people disappearing. Raymond Coe and Amri still cannot found until
You
today,
know,
and
you
people
know,
are finding
instead
solutions.
of instead of increasing their own salary, these ADUN or MPs, they should increase the salaries of our what the boys in uniform or the girls.
Yeah, I agree. I'll agree.
This is the priority that these people don't look at. They are thinking about themselves. Yeah, voted for
Because
themselves to increase their own salary. Things like that.
in a lot of developing countries or developed countries, uniform people are paid very well, so they don't need corruption.
Exactly.
So you root out all the corruption. They are paid well and they look after very well. So you don't have to worry about corruption.
This is it. So, as long as you underpay these people, they are the frontliners, right? And yet you don't appreciate them. You treat them like, nobody, I mean, a constable, a private. I think they start off around 1,000, 1,000 something. How
I
can
think
you
so.
survive?
Very, very little, very little. Poor guys.
That's terrible.
Poor
So,
guys. I
you
think
know,
that they should be paid well.
these people think about the riot, first they will take care of the armed forces, the police, the bomba, and all that. Then there will be less corruption amongst them. Yeah, and there's so many things, to be honest. And it all comes down to policies set
Correct.
by our
Correct.
government, which is Parliament. Okay.
And
Now,
when I was saying reforms,
Hmm.
I also meant seriously reform, decentralize most of the powers that is in Prime Minister. He
Yes.
shouldn't be having so much of work.
Hmm.
And the root of the corruption problem in Malaysia are the GLCs.
Oh yes.
Actually, the government has no business doing business. The government shouldn't be in business at
The
all. They
government
just
has
govern
business in many things.
policies and lay down good policies for people to prosper,
Correct.
not
And
do
all
business.
these things can be done through the Parliament. Betul tak?
Definitely, everything goes back to
So we
Parliament.
go back to
Definitely,
Parliament, the source of the powerhouse
correct,
that can change
correct.
the landscape of Malaysia. Okay?
Yep.
Now,
Sure.
with that, I am going to start explaining about Gerak Independent.
Please do.
Why we came up with this idea.
Please do.
Yeah, as you all know, everybody knows, why a bunch of us started Gerak Independent is because, we are so fed up with all these politicians, listening to their big bosses and not actually materializing the dream that we have. Yeah. So, first of all, I want to explain what are Gerak Independent main characteristics, meaning for the candidates, for the candidates that we want to go into Parliament. So these candidates, they must have at least this criteria, the following. You know, the candidate must possess high integrity, okay? And the candidate must value civil liberties and universal human rights in governance for all Malaysians, okay? And then this candidate must promote a scientific-based education system for a progressive nation instead of a religious agenda education. This candidate also must work towards a corruption-free and meritocratic economy that is resilient. This candidate also must believe in separation of state and religion. To us, religion is personal, meaning that religion should actually be managed from, like in our original constitution, give it back to the Sultan. Federal government has no business in managing religion. Yeah. So the original constitution actually said that religion of Islam comes under the Sultan. Give it back to the Sultan. Let them manage it, because that's where the power actually lies with the Sultan to manage Islam. You know, why is the federal government getting involved in managing religion? Any religion. Okay, this is what we stand for. And of course, the candidate must believe in the equality of all Malaysians. No more racial and religious dividing of Malaysians. So these are the qualities and the belief system that we want in our candidate in Gerak Independent. Okay. So we have a process flow, you know, in selecting people who wants to stand under GI as a candidate. You know, you don't have to be a graduate. You don't have to be you know, having PhD or anything like that. You know, for as long as you have these qualities that we mentioned earlier, you know, we want this type of people. You know, so you do not need to be worried about, oh, whether you are educated or not. Don't feel humble about it, because some educated people, so-called educated people, are idiots. So if I can ask Amri now to put the candidate selection that we have, if you look at the candidate selection here, the moment anyone you know, display their interest to become a candidate under GI, we will send them a form. Okay, we issue you a form, a questionnaire, which is quite detailed. Because we need to know your background, you know, we need to know that you are honest, you are putting everything there. Even you are being convicted or whatever, please put there, because that is not going to be the judgment towards you. Yeah. And then after that, you give back the form, and then we review the form, and then you will be called for interview by a few people, you know, from GI core group. And then after that, you will be interviewed by the vetting committee. This vet
No sound, Siti, no sound. What happened, Siti's video?
your
Okay.
application for due diligence, meaning to check lah whether whatever you put there are right or not. Oh, what's that? Okay, I dengar. And then after that, there will be a public hearing, you know, and this public hearing, we hope to do it on the People Elect app. Okay, this app is something new. Okay, we wanted people, the public, to interact with the candidates. Any question, you can go direct to the app and connect with the particular candidate. Okay, so therefore, your interaction with the candidate is going to be a long period of time. Instead of like now, 2 weeks before election, to you, whoever they think will be their sort of, will follow whatever they say lah, right? It's not about whether this person is quality, has quality, would suit to be put up as a candidate. So, but you in this particular GI candidate, we hope that you will be able to interact under this People Elect app, okay, long before the general election. So do you know where these people stand? If anything you can ask. So that is, and then these are the process of the candidate selection. So Amri put the other one, which is the pillars, in which we want the candidate to understand and believe. If you don't believe in these pillars, then you are not suitable to be our candidate. Okay. So when we say ending divisive politics, that means we want to end this race and religious politics. No more of this rubbish. I think that is so not going to help with our unity and our progress as a nation. And of course, not forgetting our sisters and brothers from Sabah and Sarawak. We want the delivering to Sabah and Sarawak all that was promised without further delay. Okay. So we want the people of Sabah and Sarawak feel they are part of Malaysia. We were Malaya before they joined, and then when they joined, then only we become Malaysia. So when we talk about Malaysia, we must not forget about our brothers and sisters in Sabah and Sarawak. And then the other pillars is restoring all guaranteed freedoms back to the rakyat. Yeah. So right now, there are many freedoms that we have been taken away slowly but surely. And we want this to be returned back to the rakyat. Our constitution is actually providing us a lot of freedoms, but slowly it's been taken away from us. And then the next one is, of course, like what we have discussed just now, restoring all institutional power back to the rakyat, meaning that separation of this institution, the judiciary, the executive, and the parliament. So there will be some check and balance, not everything under the Prime Minister's office, everything they control. It's like right now, the civil service, they are acting as if there is, they can do whatever they like. There is no check and balance. And our parliament, what do? Despite all the complaints? Nothing. So we should have a mechanism where there will be check and balance amongst all these important institutions. Now, the next one is about establishing a needs-based affirmative and poverty eradication policy and program. What does it mean? It means that we are not going to look at your race or religion or whatever. It must be based on needs-based. What's so difficult about that? There are many poor orang asli, there are many poor Malays, there are many poor Chinese, and there are also many poor Indians and Sikhs and all races. I think it's time we have to stop all this nonsense about based on race. I think now most of us are all born in Malaysia, whatever race you are. It's time we think like a Malaysian. No more race-based, no more religion-based or whatever. Why can't we do that? We can, if you actually put the right people in parliament. As we have discussed, everything starts with parliament. Parliament is like the heart, okay? If you have a very good, solid working heart, every part of your body is going to work well. And that is why we need to change the landscape of our Parliament, not somebody who talks about Ketuanan Melayu and all that. It's over. It's long time ago. Actually, when you go to the kampung, you know, this makcik-pakcik Ketuanan Melayu apa? Dia pun tak tahu apa dia Ketuanan Melayu. Ini orang politik buat cerita. So, it's time for us to make a change. Otherwise, this country is not going to recover. Okay? Because political parties, they have big bosses. Big bosses say jump instead of say why are we jumping? No, they will say how high. Because otherwise they will lose favor. Yeah. With their bosses, and then maybe next time they are not going to be elected to be put into any constituency. This is the problem. So why Gerak Independent? Gerak Independent, the independent candidate will be answering to you as the rakyat. Okay? They are only answerable to you. They don't have a boss. Okay? We are not the boss. MAJU is not the boss. MAJU is only providing a platform because no one else is doing it. So we have to do something. So we are trying to provide a platform, you know, so that these candidates can stand on this platform. Otherwise, like before, a lot of people don't believe in independence, you know, because they say, oh, we need to not support, because they don't know these people. But here we are, you know, we are a caucus. We have the same aim, the same ambition. So everybody knows anybody standing under Gerak Independent will be like-minded like us. Okay, but you know, so we want to change, this idea that independence cannot work. Then the question all the time we receive is that how do you ensure this independent will not become frogs, jump over, you know, if they are actually offered money and all that? Did you ask this question to all the political parties that actually jump over here and there? So what's the guarantee that your political party that you love and support will not do the same thing? Yeah. So until and unless we can create some form of laws, either anti-hopping law or recall election, you know, nothing can be guaranteed. All right. So this is the thing. We believe if we choose the right people, you know, integrity, who believe to change this country for a better country, they will not be easily bought. This is what we can assure you. So this is the thing that nobody can answer you perfectly, because there is no law to control, and we are not God to read people whether they will jump or not. Yeah. So this is something that it has happened in political parties, so you know, it's something that we hope, as long we choose the right people, they will not be easily bought. Cross fingers. Yeah. Then the other question is that I think a lot of people are concerned. Are we not splitting votes? They say splitting votes. Yeah. Well, to be honest, we are not planning to put in 222 people to stand as general election, in the general election. First of all, you know, we have no money to do that. Okay. Secondly, we believe to start small. We become the swing vote. We become the kingmaker. This is the idea. We are putting in maybe 15 to 20 candidates in selected constituencies. Of course, we are going to talk to friendly parties, you know, who have the same ideals with us. And we're going to discuss, you know, we are not going to say, oh, go to hell to everybody. No. Because we want the best for our country. So, you know, we just need a swing vote. So none of them will have majority. So we are going to support only the opposition or government that actually put up good laws, good policies. You know, then we support them. So you want our vote? You make sure that these laws that you are trying to put in, or the things that you want Parliament to go through, then is in accordance to our pillars, right? So this is why we start small. Then when the people see how good how it works, yeah, then maybe then more people will trust, will understand the system, yeah, and then only we can expand. Once they see the quality of these GI candidates, then perhaps then they will see, oh, the candidates, they don't have to follow their bosses lah. They are answerable to us, the rakyat. The rakyat say, we want this, and this is what your candidate will be speaking for you in Parliament. Okay, so Amri, can you take away this? Yeah, because I need to see the questions now. So now, how to choose an independent candidates? Yeah, the first question. How to choose? Well, basically, if you look at if the candidate is under Gerak Independent in your constituency, vote for us, because you know that they have gone through rigorous select method, and we have checked their background, and that we hope that they will be the best for the rakyat. Okay, so look out for Gerak Independent candidates. Now, number 2, the second question, maybe we can hire actors and MCs, those with good camera presence and command of English BM to make educational videos. Oh, okay, this is about the teacher. Well, to be honest, I don't really care so much about the delivery, or of course they should lah, because there are many Malaysians who can actually speak English fluently. But to me, what the teacher says, I'm not worried about the delivery, but what I'm more worried is about the content of the subject. What that is. It's about reproductive. It's a science class about how do you get pregnant. People don't get the message I'm trying to say, that we should be more concerned about the content rather than the delivery. The content says you can get pregnant if you are married. Hello, what message are you trying to tell this 8-year-old, that if you don't get married, you don't get pregnant? So these kids, they take on face value. So if if they think that if I have sex before marriage, then I won't be getting pregnant. Is that the message you're trying to say? So and then people say, oh, ini nak encourage free sex or sex before marriage. Oh my God. Can you believe, this is the mentality, the product of our national schools. Terlampau banyak agama di apa tu, masukkan dalam kepala otak dia tak nampak dah. Cannot see the forest from the trees or whatever. We are not even touching on religion. We are saying that you cannot give misinformation to the kids. The fact is, the reality is that you can be pregnant even before you get married. Maybe perhaps if we are truthful to these kids, they will think twice before they want to have sex before marriage, because for fear of getting pregnant. Tak boleh ke fikir macam tu? It's such a simple thing, right? But they cannot think that, right? And this is the problem, because too many people thinking only religion, and then when we say something logic, something facts, they thought, oh, you are encouraging sex before marriage, you are encouraging immoral behavior. Oh my God. You cannot get through these people. Now, okay, this is very interesting. Siti, you seem to be spearheading Gerak Independent. Well, actually, I'm not alone. There are many of us, but I am the face of it lah. Many are aware of the novelty you are introducing in Malaysian politics, and they are supportive. Thank you very much. Then the concern being that you support LGBT lifestyle here. Won't that affect your larger agenda? Okay, let me tell you this lah. Of course, some people accuse me promoting LGBT lah. Now this question supporting LGBT lah and all that. What have I done all this while? Really? Have I said anything about, hey, it's good to be a lesbian, man, or it's good to be a gay man, you should become one? Did I say that? I've never said such thing, because you cannot promote or you cannot tell people to become gay or become lesbian or whatever. And it's none of my business, to be honest, how people want to lead their life. That's none of my business. I never interfere. I never talk about it. Support LGBT? In what way? I support them from being persecuted. You understand the difference? I will support even a lebay or even someone from past being persecuted for wearing a turban, pakai apa tu yang dia pusing kat kepala dia tu lah.
Serban
dia. Katalah ada satu undang-undang yang kata orang tak boleh pakai serban dekat Malaysia. I will defend their right to wear serban. The same with all these so-called LGBT. Maybe you all don't know. The maknya, especially because they are visible. They are being persecuted every day. Kena tangkap tak tentu pasal. Pergi beli nasi lemak kena tangkap. Pasal apa? Pasal dia pakai baju perempuan. So is that right for the authority to do that towards them?
Actually, Siti,
Yeah.
the problem is that with our religious people, the cleric, the ustas, they are accusing LGBT people as if they choose to live in that style. They cannot understand. They cannot understand that these people are having biological problem.
Correct.
So it's not that they choose to use that lifestyle.
It is
and so they don't understand biological problem.
Yeah.
They think, no, these people choose to live that way. I don't know how they think.
Yeah. Well, this is it. So it's not about condoning or whatever. No. It's none of my business. I never interfere with anybody's right to live however they want to live. Okay, as long there is no harm done to others, and this is my principle in life. You do whatever you want to do as long you don't bring harm to others. Tapi ada juga yang Melayu yang bodoh ni yang cakap, oh, but you are doing harm to us. What? In what way? Oh, because we dislike it, we don't like it. How do you even talk to this kind of people? Yeah, you can't. So basically, my involvement with the LGBT people is simply that, I see them as human beings. I will defend their rights if they are being persecuted for no reason. Yeah. So this is the how it is, and as I said, I will defend anybody's right if they are persecuted, so this, but please lah, don't message me all the time and saying I need help and all that. I can't save the world, but I will actually go if it's a matter of public interest. Yeah. So this is the thing, how can you allow a community being persecuted for just being who they are? Any right-minded person will understand what I'm saying. But if you don't accept it, I can't force you to understand where I stand, So this is, if my agenda is very simple, to respect a human being for who they are, no matter what.
I think that goes along also to our natives. Our orang asli, all people in Kadazan and Iban and Mugrud, if they choose to live their style, pakai dia punya traditional dress, is their business lah, not other people's business.
Correct. I've always said that.
But you also have people yang tak boleh tengok cross kat church. This is another issue. I don't know why they are so busy about other people's business.
Education, this is the problem,
Of course.
Negara Malaysia ni, the government allows this rubbish to continue. You know, they will arrest people who don't actually harm anyone, but they do not arrest these people that give ideas which is crazy, you know, like affecting the public, you know, which cause more tension. I don't understand, but I think these people are paid politically, you know, to create tension.
You know, Siti,
Yeah.
Siti,
And then our authority, kita punya kerajaan pula, dengar. Oh, lepas tu polis pergi tangkap. You know, when actually ini diorang creating a ruse, you know, they just want to create. And then kan sekarang ni social media senang nak spread. Lepas tu ada pula Melayu yang tak faham cerita, support. Are we going to listen to this type of people, you know, our authorities? This is something that we need our government to look into lah.
Siti, probably Malaysia is the only country in the world where the majority feel threatened with the minority.
Kan?
The only country in the world.
Kan? So sensitive.
Lifestyle, religion, race, macam-macam. They are so sensitive. I don't know why.
Honestly, I think majority of Malays tak ada pun rasa tu. Ini yang
Actually, they have been spoiled by the religious bigots.
Yeah,
and the racists.
By these people, even free hands. So they think they are so strong and powerful. They forget we have laws in this country. Okay, and this is another thing that, you know, I wish a lot more people know about their rights, so that they can challenge these people, you know, instead of trying to tell you what to do. Okay, so the next question, it says, I hope it answers lah the LGBT lifestyle ni kan. Kalau you guna otak you sikit, I think you will understand lah. Tapi kalau tak guna otak tu, I cannot help lah, you know. That is something that beyond my power. Why religious studies incorporated into language subject, especially in Bahasa Malaysia, and not as a separate subject? Now, Sarajun, you have an answer?
Well, first thing first, I think religion should not be taught in school. Religion is a private matter, is between you and your God, and parents can teach the children in the house or send to any sekolah agama, but politics, religion, and politics, religion should not mix, and school, education. These three cannot mix. They should be separated completely, because too much of politics and too much of race and religion in the school is the one that has destroyed our education system.
Absolutely, yeah. You look, ada kubur lah dekat sekolah. You know, I mean, nowadays you go into the national schools. In my old schools, there are 2 canteens and both are halal. One for the Malays and one for the non-Malays. Pasal apa tu? Pasal because they think that the so-called the old canteen run by a non-Malay is not suitable for the Malays. Okay, this is the problem. You know, my old missionary school, you know, I feel so ashamed when I went back there. And unfortunately, you know, when we raised this issue, right? You know what the Ministry of Education actually say? The Melaka Ministry of Education say at that time. Ini masa tu under PH tau. Oh, what's wrong with 2 canteens? You know, what's wrong with 2 bloody canteens? They can't see the problem. When I was at school, you know, all of us are together in the canteen. You know, Chinese, Indian, Malay, and all that. No problem, because all the food are halal. See, this is the thing that Ministry of Education don't think is a problem. So what kind of people do we have in our Ministry of Education? So it goes back to the parliamentarians to take action.
True, very true.
Go back to Parliament. Okay, that I hope people are clear about how it works. And Is it possible that the previous education minister was hampered by the static situation in the schools, or was it from the ministry itself? What static situation in the schools, or was it from the ministry itself? Well, any problem, to be honest, even though it originates from the school or from the ministry, ultimately it goes back to the politicians, the parliamentarians in parliament. They should have select committees, to look at all these problems, select committees for education, select committee for judiciary, select committee for the armed forces or whatever. So,
Economy,
yeah, exactly.
human rights.
Human rights, semua, so that these people, all this answerable to the parliament. Okay. So now the next one, could we discuss about the latest development? I think we talked about that, the regarding SOP and judgment against Malaysia Kini. Well, as you know, we are so afraid that we might be found for contempt, okay, if we discuss too much what we really think with regards to the Malaysia Kini judgment,
But I think they should be able to measure the disappointment by the people by within 4 hours. The people gave money to Malaysia Kini to pay the fine. That
Yep.
itself speaks volumes about how people feel about what comes out from the judiciary.
Absolutely. Don't have to say anything lah.
Don't have to say anything.
Don't have to say anything.
And now
Yeah,
even
so the figure is over
Siti,
seven.
and now those people who never talk about freedom of expression are now becoming champions now. They are now talking that no, there must be freedom of expression. Previously they were very quiet.
Yeah.
But just because they saw the people react, now everybody nak tumpang suronok.
Oh, everybody wants to talk about freedom of
everybody wants to
expression,
talk
all
about it.
that. Yeah.
And we NGO people have been fighting this for donkey years about freedom of expression. Can you imagine how many people actually were taken to courts? I myself was arrested for speaking out. And then so many people were arrested and on so many draconian laws and into even ISA and all those things. People suffered. People have suffered. And the thing has not come. We have not overcome this situation yet. Now
No,
comes
because
this
there's
one.
no political will.
No
There's
political will. True.
That's it. It comes down, or it goes down to the parliament. Okay. Now, next question. Siti, is there a deep state factor in Malaysian politics that will undermine any attempt to reform our political system? You know what? This is my opinion. Ada deep state kah, ada shallow state kah, it goes down to the leadership. Leadership, my friend. Honestly. For me, you need a courageous leader, a strong leader that will just do it. No matter what are the voices, all those negative voices. If you're a good leader, you're a courageous leader, you will just do it. Okay, you are not going to listen first, or is there any sort of negative sound or any whatever lah going around, then only I will make decision or say something. No, as a leader, you already know what is good for the people, and you will just do it. Okay.
And the people, please remember, people, I'm just requesting to all the people of Malaysia, please remember, when the election comes, you are the boss. You make the changes. Those people who actually cheated you, who betrayed you, who actually did not fight for you, didn't stand for you, don't vote for them.
Yes.
Bring change. Bring new people. When you have a new people, vote the new people. The corrupted one,
we need to have new faces in parliament.
New faces. The old one dah tak boleh pakai dah.
New blood, young or old, new blood in parliament.
New blood into parliament, yes.
Rhetoric about orang muda. Only you think only the youngs can change, make the change? people all like me cannot make change? Huh? No, it's not about young or old. It's about whether you have the right way of thinking. Okay. I just want to see if anybody in this so-called new political parties dare to actually speak about the elephant in the room. No, they won't say it because it will affect their voting bank. They won't say what is the real problem in our country right now. Sarajun.
And a message to all the people, especially the educated, the people who are in the universities, the people in social media, when you go back to your kampong, the rural areas, please tell your family, don't sell your votes for 50 ringgit and 100 ringgit. Don't buy their stories. They have been telling you lies for donkey years.
Yeah.
And what happened? They sold you. They sold the future of your children.
Yep.
They sold the future of your grandchildren. And you know what is the condition in Malaysia? Do you know how the economy is faring today? If you want to change this, those people that betrayed you, don't give them votes. People, you have to be resolute this time. This time you must decide that you are going to bring change in the next general elections.
Ya. Kalau kita rakyatnya, kita semua fikir macam tu, negara kita takkan, at what we are right now, to be honest. Ya. You tengoklah orang-orang yang berpolitik, ada tak yang miskin? Tak ada. Bila dia jadi MB, jadi MP aja, this is my father time dululah. Dia jadi jadi YB wakil rakyat, terus ada 2 bini, terus pakai Mercedes, sampai arwah bapa ai menyampah lah, dia boleh ludah, dia kata dia menyesal.
Let me tell you, Siti, for political parties like UMNO, for example, I'm willing to mention UMNO.
Especially UMNO.
Politics is actually a business.
Yes.
Mula di cawangan, they will invest money, belanja kawan, minta diorang support you, bagi gift, jadi ketua cawangan. Kemudian go to the bahagian, bagi duit ke orang, bagi gift, jadi ketua bahagian.
Yep.
Kemudian jumpa the leaders around that area, minta diorang invest lots of money, bagi jadi ahli parlimen ataupun jadi wakil rakyat.
Yes.
Bila jadi wakil rakyat, when they become into power, they start collecting all the investments.
Yes.
Kemudian mana boleh gagal duit, gagal lah. Mana boleh project. Do you know, when the government's project goes out, actually about 10-20% saja yang pergi ke project. 80-90% go inside the pocket. That's how the country has been running for all this while.
Yeah. Well.
So what we have to do now, people of Malaysia, is that this kind of people who are in politics to get rich, to become warlords. The moment you can see it now, you can see UMNO leaders and all the political leaders. When you look at them, even jam pun $1 million dia boleh pakai. $1 million dia tayang lagi. Dia pakai pergi press conference tunjuk orang 1 juta dia beli jam. Orang macam ni jangan undi lah. Dia jual you.
Orang nak tegur.
So these people actually they in doing business, they become warlord and then they become rich. Macam Siti kata. Have you seen any UMNO leader who is not rich?
Not just UMNO lah, tengok orang PAS.
Orang PAS pun dah sopa juga. Dia pun sekarang ni orang...
Tapi kena cakap Dr. Jayakumar dari PSM, dia masih pakai Volvo buruk, dia tahu.
Ya, betul. Betul.
Okay.
But you were talking about PAS. Now PAS is very famous for Mercedes-Benz. They're very famous. Mercedes-Benz. And I'm sure...
Angkat dia lagi pasal dia?
Mesti bini 2, bini 3.
Of course.
This is what they want in life.
Yeah.
And what about religion? You talk about past. What about religion? Dulu bila not in power, they talk about judi tak baik, nombor ekor semua ni tak baik, arah tak baik. Now they are in the government. What have they done? What have they done? Can you imagine the Minister of Water, who is a member of parliament from Kelantan? He is saying that he will solve the water problem in Kelantan. He need 30 years to solve the problem. Macam ni jadi menteri. And you all nak sokong. Saya nak tanya
Lawan
orang
Kelantan
kampung.
angka juga.
Orang macam ni you nak sokong.
Itulah,
Guna
rakyat
atas
Kelantan
ke-
memang time untuk berubah. Okey.
Ubah. Kelantan, Terengganu, Kedah, Johor, ubahlah.
Ubahlah.
Seriklah.
Next question. Is it possible for a country... Oh, sorry. Where are you at in terms of developing the app you mentioned? When is the scheduled date to launch the app? Are you on track to getting the app out on time? Now, if we have the money, we would have launched it last year. Okay? That is the key. Now, I want to say about this Malaysia Kini fundraise. I despite my bank balance very low, I still contribute because I believe in the cause. But you see, if we can raise 4 hours for Malaysia Kini to pay the fine because we believe in the cause, right? Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and we believe it's actually unjustified, the penalty. Now, do you believe in our cause? Do you believe what we are trying to do? So please donate, because to be honest, I feel that people are like very lackadaisical. How do you pronounce it?
Lackadaisical, kan?
Yeah, whatever lah. Understand kan? Not everybody can pronounce everything, yeah. So don't blame the teacher as well. So I mean, nobody's perfect, but nobody thinks that in order to move, none of us are paid, And then one of my co-founder, he is the one forking out so much money in order to make this moving, get this moving. So where is the app now? It is nearly ready, but if we have the money to actually pay off the whole thing, then we can do a lot more. Yeah. So if you believe in our cause, people, please tell your friends, your relatives, your husband, your wife, your mistress, or whatever. Please help us to fund this direct to rakyat independent candidate.
Please donate.
Please donate. The account number is there, and every single cent is audited. We are a foundation. We only have 1 staff, and the rest are all volunteers. So, please help us. If you want this idea to succeed, I have told you that we can only change if we put good people in parliament, and we have to start somewhere. And these independent candidates are only answerable to the rakyat. We have actually vetted quite a few of candidates, and we will come out together with the launch of the apps. Who are the candidates going to stand? Okay, so do support, do help us, because the more money we have, the more people we can put into the election, for standing for election. Okay, so this question, is it possible for a country to be run by a partyless MP? Yeah, it's happening all over the world. I mean, this is not a novel idea. This being done everywhere. A lot of countries, especially the Scandinavian countries. So it is not something new. This idea don't come just like that to us. It is happening and it's working, and it can be, because every seat in the parliament matters. It doesn't matter you have a party or not. When you have a party, it makes it worse, because you will have to ask your boss, can I vote? Even though you agree this is a good one, but they say no, then you have to follow what the boss said. So right now for Malaysian mentality, people, partyless is better. You know, I think for now, until and unless you get a political party that will actually have these rules, about whether they agree, must follow the bosses, then we have to go by this way. Yeah. So the next one, Mr. Sarajun, if you were given a chance to head the education ministry, what is the first few things that you want to do to bring our education systems back to track?
Quality. First thing is quality. We have improved the quality of the teachers, the delivery system, improve the syllabus. Don't waste time in subjects or stories that are not important for the nation building. So we concentrate more in science subjects, mathematics, technical subjects, give them knowledge. And at the same time, don't make a one-way traffic teaching in schools. It must be what do you call that? Must be two-way. You have to dialogue with the children. Let them think for themselves. Inbuilt critical thinking into our students so that they don't go to exams to answer question memorized from the textbook. No, they must be able to express themselves in their own words. Then we will know that they understood. So the first thing I will do is improve the syllabus and improve the quality of the teachers. That is the first thing I will do.
Yeah. Go back to how it was during my time.
Definitely. Dulu Siti, kalau guru rotan, balik rumah bapak rotan sekali lagi.
Well,
Sekarang cikgu takut rotan. Esok lawyer surat lawyer nanti datang.
yeah.
How do you want to teach?
Well, okay, I'm not talking in terms of beating the children lah kan. Tapi kalau jahat tu memang patut. But my school, even during my time, you can't happily, the teacher cannot happily just physically, hit the kids, yeah. But the punishment is that, they will hang this cardboard. I am a thief. And then you wear the cardboard, you stand during recess time under the big tree, okay? And people go to and fro nak pergi during recess, pergi the canteen. Kita nak tengok pun kita malu. But that is a worse punishment than beating, to be honest. Okay, you will never get that girl to do it again. So, but you see, it's not the beating or what. It's more on the quality of teachers.
The students dulu, what actually I meant, teachers dulu malu ke cikgu. Malu. Sekarang ni, tak malu langsung. They don't care. They pretend as if they don't care. Teacher marah ke apa ke, dia buat tak peduli ya. So this is the value of education. Somehow we have failed to instill to the student the correct value. Like I said just now.
What if they feel that by the correct value is to teach religion?
Well, like I said just now, religion is the biggest problem in education. That's why you have to remove.
Yeah, but that's how they get to teach values and morals.
The problem is that
still more religion.
The problem becomes serious because when the students are taught that it's better for you to excel in religion so that you can go to heaven than to excel in education and become successful in life. That is the wrong teaching they are doing. Actually, if you succeed in life, you also succeed in heaven. Definitely, it comes along. It's a pair.
Yeah. So do you think there's something wrong with the
Definitely wrong. So religion must be removed, completely removed from the school.
No, at least go back to my time lah. I think during my time we had one lesson per week of pendidikan Islam, and it's not compulsory to pass, but today I heard, even if you take a degree in petroleum engineering, okay, you still have to do some sort of Islamic subjects to pass to get your degree. That's how the infiltration, there's nothing wrong. You want to study religion. We are not against religion or whatsoever, but we believe that it has to be done in private of your own
No, there
time.
must be a balance. There must be a
Yes.
balance.
Yeah.
Jangan utamakan agama saja banyak sangat sampai ingat the whole life. Your life is meaningless without religion. That becomes a problem.
Yes.
That becomes a problem because you must be able to balance persiapan untuk akhirat dan persiapan pada dunia.
I mean, during my time, I go to sekolah agama after school. Nothing to do with the school at all. Okay, so why can't we do that? And we produce really good students those time. But nowadays, I mean, my school is one of the best in Malacca. Okay, the SPM result is always above 95%. Very good results, and people wants to go into this school. But nowadays, people are not interested to send their kids into national schools because of the standard, the quality is so bad. So this is why we need to change, and we must change now. If we don't change now, goodbye Malaysia lah. Seriously, I'm not joking. And of course, these rich people, they don't care. They are already rich.
But you can see today, those people who go to vernacular school, for example, Chinese school, they actually become a more successful person. They are better in education and they have become more successful in life.
More all-rounder.
Yes, and now, unfortunately, you have people who are taking vernacular schools to court and saying that you must ban the vernacular schools.
Okay.
I don't understand.
I mean, I wish we have more time, but there's one last question. Do you have the resources to ensure your candidates are properly vetted? Again, my friends, I beg you, please donate to us, help us. As I said, the more money we get, the more things we can do in order to make it better for our progress with the candidates, yeah, in terms of vetting lah. But right now we are all moving on just adrenaline, we don't mind that. But if we can get good funding, we can get good people as candidates, and we can sponsor people. We can help these candidates to stand for election even though they have no money. Deposit saja I dengar 15,000. You gila ke? So siapa lah yang yang ada 15,000 just like that. So I mean, if we get a good candidate but no money, how? So are we saying only people with money can stand as a candidate?
That's bad for politics.
That's bad. This is just like the political party. They have money. They sponsor whoever that idiot they want to stand for, and yet, here we have good candidates. For example, if I want to run, I can't afford it. I don't have 15K. I don't even have 1K, every month enough to pay my bills. So, to be honest, we cannot deny good candidates to run. If we can help them, we try to help them from crowdfunding. So, yes, it all comes down to money at the end of the day. So think about Malaysia Kini, think about Gerak Independent, okay? So is there any last words, Sarajun?
Yeah, there was one section of that. Remember, I told you there were three key factors that I was interested: education, economy, and also political maturity and unity. The second part, actually, I didn't talk. But anyway, I just need a very short time because this is very serious. I want the people of Malaysia to know the government won't tell you. the politician, the government politician won't tell you. But I'm telling you, the situation is actually very serious in Malaysia. We are in the brink of a humanitarian crisis. Now, why do I say that? Do you know, Malaysian people, do you know that 67%, our national debt is now 67% of GDP, which means 2/3 of the money that we earn in the country actually goes to the debt. Do you know? The non-performing loans at the moment is already 29 billion. Sorry. Now, about 1 million people has lost a job within this last 1 year. 1 million. About 30 to 40,000 of business has closed down. Thousands of people are going hungry. Go to Chowkit, go to Kuala Lumpur City. You have people sleeping on the pavements.
Yeah.
They are waiting for food to eat. That is the situation Malaysia has come to. And the thing is serious because even foreign investment are not coming to Malaysia. The whole last year, the investment that came only 2.5 billion. Compared to Singapore, 60 billion American dollars went to Singapore. Kita dapat 2 billion ya. Because people don't trust in Malaysia anymore. Because of political uncertainty, because of now worse, because of emergency, and because of the investors are saying it's very expensive to do business in Malaysia. Corruption everywhere. If you don't corrupt people, you can't get license, you can't get projects, you can't get to do things. Everything need corruption. So people are scared to come to Malaysia to invest. Do you know big companies like Tesla, Amazon, Google, Japanese companies like Toyota, Panasonic, Hyundai, all leaving Malaysia. They're going to Indonesia now. So that means the economic condition of a country is going to get worse, much worse. So we need to brace ourselves. If we don't check the decline now, more and more people are going to suffer, and you and me and our children and grandchildren, all of them are going to suffer. So my final words, do you love your children? For the youngsters, tomorrow you are going to get married. You will have children. Will you love your wife, your children, your grandchildren? If you love, imagine what kind of future are you going to leave for them? What are the legacies? Do you want your children, grandchildren, and curse you? Apalah tak guna punya tok aku dulu. He can make change, but he didn't. And then we give them Malaysia in a terrible condition where it's very difficult for them to survive. Even now, do you know, in the last 10 years, about 2 million professionals have left Malaysia and gone to foreign countries. They're living there. You know, Singapore is so successful. Do you know 45% of the people who are running the economy of Singapore are actually Malaysians? They stay there. They don't want to come back. Most of the graduates who succeed in their life, they don't want to come back to Malaysia. They want to go to a country where they have better working condition, they have a better future. So if we cannot provide, this thing in Malaysia, then I'm sorry to say the country is slipping down in a terrible mess. Yes, Siti.
Sorry, we are already over the time, like
no problem.
Yeah,
no
but
problem. There's always another time to talk about all this.
Yes, we will have more of this conversation. And we are lucky to have Sarajun, who has a lot of knowledge and experience to share with us with all these things that going on right now. So in my closing, please support us because we believe that, to be honest, why do you think we are doing this? We can do a lot of other things, but because we love our country. And we don't see that other political parties, friendly or not friendly, are going to make changes in the way that we want. Because what we see as the key problem that is going on in this country is the use of religion, as well as when it's religion is is intertwined with race, and so it becomes a problem. This is really the elephant in the room. But you ask all these political parties, will they dare actually to speak about it, to actually highlight this, to tell whoever to stop using this religion in order to gain votes from their sort of, voting bank.
But they don't help the society. They only enrich themselves.
They will be happily enriching themselves, but they will not try to solve our problem, which is this: using religion.
60 tahun dasar ekonomi baru. Siapa yang kaya?
Yeah.
Siapa miskin?
Yeah.
Fikirlah.
Yeah, this is the thing. We are not saying we are anti-religion. No. We are saying stop this using religion in your political sort of actions or whatever in governing. Don't use religion in your governance, okay? You need to just keep religion aside and let the sultans actually manage it, not politicians. Reject politicians who use religion. This is what we want to say.
And race.
So this is the problem. This is the elephant in the room. Challenge your MPs, your YBs. Are they daring to speak up about this issue? We will. We are going to speak up about this because this is the problem. And if it's not sorted, we are going down the drain in this country, right? So please support us as much as you can. We will appreciate it, and really look out for more conversation. Between us in Gerak Independent, maybe with me or maybe with somebody else. But hopefully that from this on, we can move forward bravely as Rakyat movement. Okay. Thank you so much. Good night, and have a good night's sleep, and good week, next week. Yeah.
Thank you, Siti. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you,
Gerak Independent.
Sarajun.
Thank you, Maju.
Bye.